as Haran and Celeste Bure walk back out on the field for Portland. And if you're in there, if you're one of the coaches, what are you telling your team during halftime to get them going for the second half?
Well, I think both teams know what's at stake in these next 45. Neither team wants to walk away 0-0, 1-1. They don't want to walk away with just 1 point. They want to continue to secure their spot in the playoff hunt, and that's what they need to focus on. I think we're going to see a little bit more energy here in the second half as both teams are kind of fighting for their lives at this point.
And fighting for their lives, fighting for a playoff spot, because their schedule doesn't get much easier. The next games that both these teams play, Portland, the game of the week next week versus Chicago, who sits just a spot behind them in the stands. And for Orlando, they have to take on the North Carolina Courage. That's not an easy game by any means. They've only lost once this season.
No, it's not. And so any points out of tonight, especially 3, would be huge.
Josh Toll and Danielle Malagary with you here in Orlando, Florida. And I wonder, too, if with all the physicality we saw in the first half, if we're going to see more whistles like this, and just every time something happens, there's going to be a chance for another yellow card, just so this game doesn't get out of hand.
I do think we're gonna have to see more whistles just to keep it in control. I mean, any kind of break in a game will just allow both teams to reset mentally, physically, emotionally. It needs to change, especially for Portland.
Sonnet with the long ball. Head it up. Oregon off the foot. Marta. Van Egmond. Same starting 11 for both teams. Klingenberg. Crnogorcevic. That's going to go off. I believe Orlando, we're going to have another corner come in early here in the second half for Portland. Portland head coach Mark Parsons just talked about how much they do practice these corners as it's a short corner back. Sent in by Haran, and she has her 11th goal of the season.
And set pieces are so huge, like you just said, for any team in this league, especially at this point. A nice little short corner there from Portland Thorns to get themselves on the board.
But Haran, you can see how pumped she is now with 11 goals on the season. So leading the way in the Golden Boot.
A great service from Tobin Heath. And just Haran was behind that back shoulder of Kennedy, was able to beat her to the ball.
Just looked like a back heel there by Crnogorcevic to get it to Haran and put it into the back of the net for the first goal of the evening.
And that's just a hustle. That's just a hustle goal right there. And we saw that earlier from Haran. She was hustling to get services off, and now she hustles to put the ball in the back of the net.
You look at this, before coming into this game, Haran, her 10 goals were one more than she had in 39 appearances before, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
She's having a breakout year. Not exactly breaking out, because everyone already knew who she was before the season began.
She's got 5 goals by her head, now 6 by foot. Rasso in pursuit, sends it across, headed up in the air, and a collision there between Crnogorcevic and Ashlyn Harris.
And I'm not sure if Ashlyn Harris even saw Crnogorcevic coming in. Her eyes were on the ball the whole time. Rasso doing a good job getting her hips around the ball. A little backspin. Crnogorcevic gets there. Same time as Ashlyn Harris, just a little bit more body on Ashlyn Harris there.
But Harris is up and ready to go, so that's obviously always the best thing to see. But Portland getting back to that Haran goal. 7-3-2 when either Haran or Sinclair score. So that is something that when they get the lead with one of those two, it's pretty much certain that they're going to come out with points.
And at this point in the season, both teams obviously fighting for what they need to get to the playoffs. You don't ever want to look at stats. You just want to do what you can do on the field to get the points that you need.
But to make matters worse, 7-0-2 when Portland scores first. Haran. Over Edmonds, gets it to Klingenberg. Heath. With the right in. Good look there by Tobin Heath trying to find Lindsey Horan up front.
Definitely not the way Orlando was hoping to start the second half.
It's funny, it just kind of the opposite it has, how Orlando started out putting the pressure on the defense of Portland, and now just the opposite, where Portland is doing that to the back row of Orlando. Carpenter with a long throw. Play it away. Right to Carpenter, but Morgan right there to pick it. Morgan just clears it out of play. Throw-in coming.
And going back to what we talked about in the first half here, Orlando has the names and the experience of all of their players, but who's going to step up? Who's going to take over? Who's going to be that leader that's going to help kind of pull them out of this situation that they found themselves here early on in the second half?
Van Egmond. No one up ahead for her, just a little aimless pass. Klingenberg. Heath. Back to Klingenberg. Mingus, very active in the first half there. Klingenberg, right back. Sonnet.
And this is okay right now for Portland. Obviously, ahead 1-0. They will want to put another ball in the back of the net, but make Orlando chase. Make them chase the game. Make them have to win it.
Definitely want to make your opponent work as hard as they can. If you can tire them out just by passing it back and forth, that does a lot.
And these types of situations you focus on in practice, on the training ground. When you're up 1-0, obviously still plenty of game left. How do you react? How do you do? What do? Do you keep gunning forward or do you keep possession? What do you do?
Heath, bringing it up the pitch. Try and get it to Sinclair. Deflected off Sinclair. Heath, back to Sinclair. Shot, oh, just curls outside. Another great opportunity there, and you can see now, Horan, Heath, Sinclair getting some flow going, which was not there in the first.
The connectivity is certainly a lot better here in the beginning of the second half. I think Tobin Heath took one too many touches, got in front of Sinclair there, but a nice little kind of push behind her to get right into the path of Sinclair. Sinclair just curls it wide of that far post, hit it just on the outside of that ball, which you can see forces it to go.
And you know that Sinclair wanted that goal.
Yeah.
She has not scored since June 22nd against Houston. Rasso, shot, goal! Haley Rasso finds the back corner of the net, giving Portland a 2-0 lead.
And this is certainly the start Mark Parsons wanted for his team in the start of this second half. And that was just a complete hustle play by Haley Rasso, winning the ball, out muscling Kennedy here, taking that touch, using her speed, slotting it just to the left of Ashlyn Harris.
And it was only a matter of time. Two opportunities in the first half, and finally she gets the goal here in the second half.
A complete hustle play by Rasso. Fantastic finish.
Rasso's second goal of the season coming in the 53rd minute. Meanwhile, Horan just 5 minutes before in the 47th minute. Portland now up 2-0, and now Orlando has their work cut out for them, coming from behind by 2 goals with an all-important 3 points on the line, because right now, if the game were to end, Portland jumps ahead of Orlando in the standings. Weatherholt.
And this is just a tough blow for Orlando Pride to have to deal with for the start of this half. They have the power to do it. They just got to find it within themselves.
Weatherholt near the corner. Plays it off Carpenter. Corner for Orlando. Van Egmond will set up for the corner. Van Egmond sends it in. And Franch there to grab it with the mitts.
And Easy read for Franch.
But the question is, how does Orlando respond? You saw their first set piece, just not able to get good quality on it.
And they certainly need to crash everything. They need to generate opportunities from nothing. Set pieces are obviously always a good opportunity.
Grasso cutting inside. Her and Cernogorcevic not on the same page, as Presley will let that roll out. We will have our first substitution of the evening as Cernogorcevic will come off and Caitlin Ford will come on, just making her second appearance of the season for this Portland Thorns team. Talking to head coach Mark Parsons about what Caitlin Ford brings to this team. She's got power, she's got pace, she can create off the dribble, cross, finish, and really he feels like it's just going to be a few more games before she really has the fitness back that she needs and the form that Coach Parsons would like to see.
And absolutely, she has the ability to run even more now with some fresh legs at the back line of Orlando Pride.
Another thing that Parsons talked about was the ability that she can link up with the midfielders and how that affects other teams. Is that sent forward, but no one there?
As like what she just did, setting the ball to Tobin Heath. Just a little bit too heavy on that ball through from Tobin Heath.
Caitlin Ford played in that Tournament of Nations, but really came on more as a sub, just still trying to get back from injury as Weatherholt. Taken away by Sinclair. Heath in the circle.
There's just a newfound energy with Portland from the end of that first half to now.
Whatever was said at halftime seemed to have worked because 2 early goals within the first 8 minutes. Marta. But she is so dangerous, 5-time World Player of the Year, but gives that one up to a hustling Carpenter. Carpenter now working her way down the wing. Curls one in, trying to find Ford. Sinclair with the left, and that one just sails to the left of the mouth of the net.
And something that can't happen right now with Orlando is they can't get on one another. They have to kind of be there to build each other up, not get on each other, not get frustrated. There's still plenty of time left. Portland scored 2 goals in 5 minutes. They can certainly come back in this time. Just got to kind of find it within.
And when you got people like Alex Morgan, like Marta, who can create, that's a big thing. But you can see that they are missing Sydney Leroux and how that is playing a factor into this team and how they play. Ubokugu gets around Carpenter with the right. Oh, that one just out of reach of Morgan. It was able to go above the shorter Klingenberg and just unable to get it ahead on that was Alex Morgan. Great look there, though.
A really good idea. Like you said, just inches from Morgan's head.
Carpenter. Back to Sonnet. Sonnet with Marta in front of her. Bure. Nice slide tackle. It's really volleys back and forth right now. Nothing really going on as Obogugu is down on the ground. You wonder if this is just a cramp. You hope it is. You hope it's nothing serious for the third-year player out of Stanford. Grandfather played for the Nigerian national team, also played for Tottenham Hotspur as well, so comes from a soccer family.
I would certainly say so.
Born in London, England, but moved to the States at 3, where she moved to Texas with her family. We'll see if we can get a better view maybe on what happened.
Oh, just no contact. Just, I think the
Maybe
way she may have planted.
her knee buckling a little bit. And now Camilla will come on.
You never want to see that.
Obogugu will come off.
And I think Ubogugu had some good energy there in the first 15 14 or 15 minutes of this half. She got back defensively, was getting forward, doing some good things.
And she had that pass try to Morgan as well. That was just over the reach. But now Camilla comes on, making her 6th appearance of the season. Brazilian national. See if she can bring some energy to this Pride team. That goes over the head of Kennedy. Is our score in the 60th minute. Bure ran off of Morgan, but gets right back. Ran. Just trying to find some space, so good on the ball. Camille stepping in front of Carpenter there. Now ahead, and that's just gonna be too much weight on that pass. Throwing coming for Portland. Just 2 draws when playing from behind, 2 wins as well. Morgan trying to squeeze that pass through, unable to, but still controls the ball. Morgan with possession. Marta with the left. Carpenter plays it out.
And Orlando Pride saw themselves down against Sky Blue 2-1, obviously not 2-0. But it was some good individual effort by Danny Weatherholt that got them even. So you're gonna have to see which players here can just gut it out and push forward and do what they can to put a ball in the back of the net.
Krieger pushing forward at the moment. Edmonds. Edmonds with Klingenberg standing in front of her now. Heath right next to her. Klingenberg with a good deflection out.
Orlando really hasn't been able to find their strikers off of the back line of Portland much.
Heath.
Which hasn't really allowed them to be super creative this evening.
And Klingenberg's just going to send it out. Krieger playing up. Van Egmond. Weatherholt. Weatherholt doing a good job earning her team a corner.
Weatherholt certainly wasn't ready for that ball, but used her speed to get on it and earn her team a corner kick.
And Marta will line up for the kick. See how they elect to play this one in. 7 corners now for the Orlando Pride. 5 in the first half alone. Sent in. Headed out by Haran. Marta gathers. Sends it in with the left. Headed on. French with the save.
French has absolutely been so clutch this evening for Portland.
There's a reason why she was on that July month team. Team of the month then, 3-0 during that time. And French playing excellent this evening. Camilla with the right, and that one wide. French has been very active this evening in this contest.
And we've talked about the last couple minutes here, who on Orlando is going to make a difference to get themselves back in this game, but who from Portland's going to make a difference? French, Adriana French is going to make a difference here. She's been so huge this evening. Just a redirection off of Van Egmond's chest. That would have been quite a goal.
Quite a goal, but a big save there for French, keeping her team's lead at 2-0. And having that 2-0 cushion is so important.
But they do always say that 2-0 is the hardest lead to have in a game at this point. Because, boom, if Orlando gets another one, they're back in it, and they're going to be revved up looking to get that next goal. But they just got to do what they can do to keep them off the score sheet. And Adriana French is doing that.
Emily Sonnet, the former #1 overall pick out of Virginia. Ball. Chance. Oh, just sails to the right of the frame.
And that's for just making something of nothing there. The ball's just kind of popping around back and forth between a couple of players. She brings it down and just rips it just wide.
Coach
Good
Mark
look,
Parsons talked about what she brings to this club and just showing a little bit of it right there. You wonder what is going to happen when she is in full form. Orlando playing from behind. Putting more pressure on this Portland team. Trying to force a turnover. Weatherholt turns up to Marta. Marta with 2 on her, finds Weatherholt. Weatherholt to the outside. Weatherholt with left, and that is going to be caught by Franch. Orlando wanted a corner, not going to get it.
It's tough. Weatherholt did a good job at creating a little bit of space for herself. Should have probably served it a little bit sooner. But when you do a couple of shimmy and shakes, you get a little tired.
Klingenberg plays it back to Heath. Bourre. Marta, can she keep it in? No. Throwing coming for Portland. Portland hoping to move up to 3rd place in the standings if they're able to hold on to this victory, 2-0. Orlando just trying to get anything going. Their last 2 games have ended in draws. And just a heartbreaker against Sky Blue. Just trying to find something down within them to get themselves back into this contest. Camilla lets it roll out.
Sense of urgency has to be a little bit better here.
And Presley not happy with her touch there.
And giving a ball away like that under not a lot of pressure can't happen.
Cleared away by Van Egmond. Coming up is Klingenberg. Edmonds controlling. Over to Krieger. Van Egmond off the head. Carpenter. Little chip pass. Going down from behind was Rasso. Getting knocked over by Presley.
Looked like a little hip check there. Certainly a foul.
I do wonder what Orlando does, and it was only a matter of time before this was going to happen. Rachel Hill will come on, and Kristen Edmonds will come off for Orlando Pride. Rachel Hill, all she's done this year, 3 goals in substitution situations.
And this is what they need. Edmonds took a couple of knocks early on, but I think she had a pretty good game, actually a very good game on that right side. But just a little bit of new energy, fresh legs here for Orlando is certainly what they need.
Rasso into the box. Rasso sends across, tipped away by Harris. Moran to Heath. Heath stolen away by Marta, but she can't gain possession as that rolls past the end line. Corner coming for Portland. 6 of their 10 goals coming from corners or free kicks. When you have someone that can service the ball in like Tobin Heath, you gotta have all people marked for.
I love all these cameras behind her.
One of the world's best right there.
Yep.
Headed by Bourre, but headed out by Presley. Camilla. And again, just can't get the touch that she would like on that, and plays another one out past the touchline.
That's kind of been the story of the second half here for Orlando Pride. Just not really, their connectivity just isn't great. And a lot of that could also do with some frustration.
Rasso. That one deflected. That will go out for another corner. So again, just another chance for Portland. Orlando just not doing enough to gain possession, to gain control for a long enough amount of time to get anything going offensively, to get anything set up, to create anything. Right now, Portland just has all the momentum in this match.
And they've had the momentum the majority of, if not all, the second half here.
Heath sends it in high. Then Eggman. Carpenter up in the air. Heath. Looking for someone to pass to.
And you have to wonder what their third change, what Orlando Pride is going to do. Maybe someone like Christine Nairn is an option in the middle of the field.
Rasso, she was able to get around Harris, but unfortunately for her, just not able to get that around. I believe it was Alana Kennedy.
Good ball in from Sinclair. Rasso just uses her speed to get beyond Presley and Kennedy. A good stop there from Kennedy, showing her body, redirecting it out of bounds.
This could be Rasso's best game of her career yet with Portland this year. The 23-year-old has just been all over the place. 3 excellent chances, 1 she converted on. Heath, once again. Morgan. Able to get that one away, but Heath just all over the pitch. He'll trail that one down as it rolls out past the touchline.
Obviously just a clearance from a corner kick there, but Alex Morgan is not the one you want clearing it. She's the one you want receiving it on the other end. And this is something Marta and Alex Morgan can't do. They can't be checking so deep to get the ball because they need to be up higher to create these opportunities for Orlando Pride.
This game between these two, a last of a 3-game homestand for Orlando. It will be at North Carolina Courage next. Meanwhile, a game of the week next week, we'll see Portland host Chicago Red Stars. That'll be Saturday evening, and that will be on ESPN News. Marta. Weatherholt, can she get there? No, Bure in front. Rasso. Harris coming well out. Sends that back to the other side of the field. Kick coming for Portland. We are in the 73rd minute of a 2-0 game. Portland leads off goals from Haran and Rasso. Haran's goal coming in the 47th minute. Meanwhile, Rasso's in the 53rd as Bure goes hard to the turf. And this match has been physical all evening.
I think the concern here is more for the fact that Bure, it looked as if it was a head injury.
Marta not happy with that yellow card. Second one of the evening. First one was given out to Sinclair.
She did definitely turn her back and just kind of put her body into it rather than going with her head. Definitely understand why that was a card and a foul.
Marta just smiling in disbelief. Obviously, she doesn't think it's a foul.
No one ever thinks what they do is a foul.
Everything is always clean.
Yes.
No one sent into the box, headed by Haran. Presley will just once again play that out. I don't think she realized how much time she had to really control that ball and try to get something going in the other direction. Carpenter with the throw. Sent down to Morgan. Can Morgan get there? Mingus will just poke it out.
And that's something Orlando wants to find more of Alex Morgan in those spaces in behind. Obviously wasn't able to get a touch in on it, but I like that idea from Allie Krieger.
Van Egmond back to Morgan. Camilla. Presley. Just unable to get the service she wanted on that pass. Ford to Rasso. Who was trying to sneak up from behind and steal that one away, unable to. Klingenberg. Heath. Kennedy in front of her. Down to Ford. Can she beat Krieger to it? We're going to have offsides on Caitlin Ford.
And something we talked to Tom Zermani earlier this week about is what he thought he could expose in the back line of Portland, and that's their outside backs getting forward. And that sort of service a couple minutes ago from Allie Krieger is what they need to see a little bit more of. Kind of find that space on the flanks, try to get end line. They haven't really been able to do much of that this second half.
The Harvard grad Midge Purse in for Ellie Carpenter. Purse with her first touch of the night. Bure. Mingus, can she get control? She does. Shields away from Morgan. Sonnet. Sinclair. Rasso. Purse overlapping her. To Purse. Sends it in, high, the outside. Klingenberg can't control it. Good thought there by Midge Purse as that play developed. Rasso saw her on the side, went to her, and then Purse with a good opportunity.
Just a little much exciting with her first couple touches of the half, a little bit too much on it.
So we are on the 77th minute here in Orlando, Florida. Portland up 2-0 on goals by Lindsay Horan and Haley Rasso. He sends it in, and no one behind the line there.
And right now it's just game management for Portland. Doing what they do, kind of killing some clock here, kicking the ball out of bounds.
One other game was going on this evening in the NWSL. That was between Houston and Sky Blue. Rachel Daly started off the game with a goal, and then Sky Blue came back to tie it up 1-1 on a goal from Tiernan, and then Houston would get the final score of 2-1 off a PK goal by Rachel Daly. So still that one victory, still eluding Sky Blue, but still giving competition to other teams, but Houston still with an outside chance of getting into the playoffs.
And as unfortunate as Sky Blue season has been with no wins in that win column, they definitely work their tails off. They make people earn their points that they're getting out of them.
And that's where they can be so scary. Going forward is just ruining someone's season by getting a win versus them. Rasso, forward to Purse. Purse in the box. Crossing another one. That's going to go off Presley for another corner trot.
It may be Purse, instead of trying to get end line and serve, maybe just take a shot from the top of the 18. Obviously not a great angle, but put something in the mix there. See if we can get a deflection or something going on, because there's definitely plenty of people in front of the goal there.
Well, especially these last two times. Both times she looked a little hesitant to go into the box. So maybe that will throw them off, like you say, and just do something a little bit different.
Maybe get her eyes up on her first touch, really kind of just took her back in the direction where the ball came from.
Get a deflection, get a rebound. Heath, once again. Punched out. Now Purse firing that one back in. Hill. Marta on the far flank. Van Egmond, can she get there? No. Coming out is French, and she will just cover up that ball.
And as that play was building up, you just saw Van Egmond just put her head down and pump herself out of that midfield, just not able to get it to her feet inside the 18. Marta's looking for her options. Just out of the reach of Van Egmond. French comes out and smothers it.
You can see when Marta's eyes go big like that, she's ready to make something happen. And Carson Pickett will now come on for the Orlando Pride. Off will go Tony Presley. Carson Pickett in her third year out of Florida State, won a national championship there back in 2014. Pickett playing in her 17th game. Started a majority of those games, but since they've gone to this 3-back rotation, it's kind of changed things as Ford centers that to Heath, and Heath just a little bit to the right side of the net.
And I understand that move defensively because Presley was getting beat down that line a significant amount by Rasso and now Midge Purse being in the game. But Orlando needs to score. They need to put, it doesn't matter if they give up a third goal. They're down 2-0. They need to put a ball in the back of the net. They need to see what they can do. I would have thought Christine Nairn may have been a better option, but Tom Sermani's a great coach. He knows better than I do.
Klingenberg.
He knows his team better than I do as well. I can watch it as much as I want. He knows what his players are capable of.
Haran. Ford back to Haran, but Marta right there. Still, Portland in possession with Heath. Heath with the touch pass. Rasso sends it in. And that one, unable to get any touch behind that was Klingenberg coming in.
In the 82nd minute, winning 2-0, and your left back is running and gunning into the box to put a ball away.
Putting on that pressure. They want to make Orlando work for every little thing.
And really finish them off.
Yep. In a way, it almost looks like with Klingberg coming up, they want this to be a statement game for them, their fans, saying, hey, we're ready to make this playoff run. We're ready to back up our championship from last year, especially when that championship's going to be played in Providence Park in the Rose City. Purse. Try to get around Pickett. She does. Purse sends it back in. And that one cleared away. Good defensive stop there by Orlando.
And that's a better service from Purse there. A lot harder to defend rather than those lofted balls in.
Ran eludes Hill. Ford. Bouret. Rasso. Tripped up from behind. Rasso say that she pushed her from behind. She got the call.
She got what you wanted.
Kick coming from Tobin Heath. Another luxury he has with people like Emily Sonnet, Tobin Heath, Megan Klingenberg that can all take service kicks just like this. Is it in? Harris is easily able to get that. Marta calling for the ball. Harris couldn't get it to her.
A little bit too much on. You want to see maybe a little bit more backspin on that. Kind of hold it in, hold the ball up in the air on that service from Tobin Heath. Kind of drop it right on the top of the 18 or right between the penalty spot and the 18.
Kennedy pushes it forward to Pickett. Van Egmond back to Pickett. That deflects off Sonnet. Marta. Morgan trying to find Weatherholt. Mingus plays it back to French. Haran. Marta just bowls her over from behind.
Certainly certainly not arguing that call there. She's well aware of her.
She knew what she was doing. She's trying to get to the ball. She's trying to somehow create a turnover where she can get an opportunity to give her team just some sort of look on net. Ranch.
Orlando's only had 3 shots this half compared to their 9 shots in the first.
Really, this has been a tale of 2 halves. You talk about those first 10 minutes when they had 5 corner kicks alone in the first half.
Yep, 9 shots in the first half, 3 in the second, whereas Portland had 5 in the first and 11 in the second. Completely different half.
It just kind of goes back to what head coach Tom Sermani was talking about, just not being able to finish chances. Camilla. Marta to her right. Moran comes back. Rasso.
And at this point in the game, Orlando can't really give up any fouls either. Just slowing the game down. That's not what you want.
Klingenberg. Krieger steps up to her. Ray. Just plays it right back to the back row. French. Mingus. High in the air. Sinclair will head that up. Kennedy plays it right back. Pickett.
Everything really right now, you don't want that. not that sort of pass for Orlando. Everything really has to be positive. Go forward, try to generate any opportunity you can.
Andrusina will come on for Haley Arasso, who had quite the game this evening for the Portland Thorns, scoring a goal tonight back in the 53rd minute.
And I just love this hustle goal by Rasso. Just really out-muscles Kennedy, getting to that space, picks her head up, sees that space on that right side, tucks it away nicely.
And you could see Kennedy in that highlight trying to grab Rasso as she was going by, but there was nothing stopping her from that goal. She was going to make sure she found the back of the net at some point this evening, and she did in the 53rd minute. Ben Eggman plays it forward. Minga's right there. Again, now Portland will just kill some more time. In Orlando, before this game, 2 draws. And now, with this next week coming up, they have a tough game against North Carolina Courage in WSL Shield winner. 50 points right now, 16 wins on the season, which ties an NWSL record. They got their work cut out for them the rest of the season, and Chicago's not far behind as they have 29 points as well.
Yeah, and even if Orlando were able to get a point out of this game, would be obviously something that they would want, but you know, it's obviously difficult to get 3 points out of North Carolina Courage.
Well, they have North Carolina Courage, and then that's followed up by the Chicago Red Stars for Orlando.
Yeah.
And then they finish the year off with Sky Blue.
Yeah.
So 2 next games are extremely tough for this Orlando Pride team. Meanwhile, for Portland, their next 3 games, you got Chicago Blue, Chicago Red Stars. That will be, again, the game of the week on ESPN News. Then they got Sky Blue. And then they have Washington at Washington, and then Seattle to finish it off in the finale on September 7th on Friday.
And like we were talking about earlier, just kind of being the tale of 2 halves. The first half, 6 fouls Portland had against Orlando, 1 foul this half. Completely different game for them.
Marta with the left, and that's knocked away by Franch. Another great save by Adriana Franch.
Certainly the player of the game so far, I think. Obviously 2 great goals for Portland, but Adriana Franch has been the one that has kept them in this game. Just a little touch over the bar from her fingertip save. Gosh, she's been so good tonight.
That's what you want to see. She already has a save of the week. She might get another one this week. She sure has been busy in between the sticks. Marta sends it in, and that one on the roof of the net.
She has 3 saves of the week.
3 saves of the week.
Week 1, week 14 versus Seattle, and week 15 versus Utah.
So,
she definitely
coming back from injury 2 weeks in a row, saves of the week.
Yeah, making a case for herself in this game for another.
The question is, how much stoppage time will be added on? We'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time added on this evening. And now these teams will flip-flop positions in the standings. So Portland moves up to 3rd, and Orlando drops back to 4th, but they're still ahead of Chicago. Again, 2 weeks from now, that's going to be, well, next week's going to be a huge game for Orlando versus North Carolina, but that game for Chicago is going to be very, very important, depending on what happens next week, especially because Chicago plays on Wednesday night. Cleared away by Krieger. Bure. Sinclair with a little chip to Ford. Ford deflected by Pickett. And Krieger just plays that out. Something happened down at the end of the pitch. There we go. Bure just doing a good job stepping in front, taking that pass away. Andresina. Purse.
Really, Portland just making him chase at this point.
Sana Dominguez. And just keep away more than anything.
Absolutely.
Klingenberg. Heath. Camilla just in front of Tobin Heath. Like Camilla stepped on the foot of Heath there. She's going to get up and be able to walk it off. With a throw. Camilla. And Harris. We'll play that out, and that kick will do it for us. And Portland will get a final victory of 2-0 over the Orlando Pride. And what a game. Tale of 2 different halves where Orlando looked like started off the game very well. And then the second half, Portland came out running, and Lindsey Horan getting her 11th goal of the season now leads the Golden Boot chase. Lynn Williams of North Carolina Courage right behind her, as well as Sam Kerr from Chicago. And then Haley Rasso having an excellent game, really being the offense in the first half for Portland, and then the second half being that goal in the 53rd minute.
And I think those 2 goals just so quickly back-to-back for Portland is kind of what put the nail in the coffin for Orlando Pride. 1-0. Okay, let's bounce back from that. 2-0 and such a quick turnaround. That's so hard to come off of. Fatigue starts setting in, frustration starts setting in. The connection, the creativity of Orlando just wasn't there tonight, and obviously either was their finishing. But a lot of that has to do with Adriana Franch.
Adriana Franch, like you said, a big, big game. Numerous saves. A lot of them coming off set pieces on those corner kicks that they had, and just Franch, just another big game, proving why she was last year's NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year. And maybe, who knows, I don't know if they'll do it with her and how few games she's played, but she's showing, hey, don't forget about me just because I was injured. But we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break here on NWSLsoccer.com. We'll be back to wrap it up.